A number of people have suggested I try KDE. I haven't used it much, so I opened it up, but I've only been playing with it for really a short time. But here's some of the things I found. Some of the stuff I really like, some of the stuff not so much. So I'm going to go ahead down here to this little menu right here, what I would call the Start menu, but they call it the Application Launcher, and that's okay. It comes over here. This works fairly well. One of the things that's a little odd about it is everything else is just mouse over. To get these to work, though, I need to click on them. I have to click on that there, and then I can't even click here to get back. I have to go all the way up here. Just not thought out as well as it could be. Okay, though, not a huge deal. I'm going to go to Favorites. I'm going to go to System Settings. And here we have this. When I first opened it up, I found it a little silly that it opened up much smaller like that, and I had to resize it. Again, not a big deal, but you'd think they would think about that. And next, I have this way over here, but there's nothing over there, and you can't even put anything over there. Now granted, if I added more things into here, I'm sure you can change some of that, but it just seems odd. The next thing, when I'm resizing it, that's the time I'm looking at the content here to make sure it's fitting correctly, and it puts it transparent. That just seems counterintuitive, and again, I'm sure there's a setting, but that's just showy to be showy. Next thing I noticed is I went over here and I said, oh, cool, display and monitor. I know with some things you just mouse over it to select it and then you click it to activate it. But I click it and all it does is it hides that item below. With that information, I thought it was a menu. So I was like, oh, okay, it's showing me that there's display, configuration, and screen locker. I'll move down to it. It goes away. You have to double click this. Weird, but okay. Next thing, I came into here. There are these icons. I'm going to start with this one here. First, this I think is excellent. And other operating systems and other systems, to rotate your screen is a menu. Well, if your screen is rotated incorrectly, trying to get to a menu is a pain. Sure, to rotate this the way I want, I might have to go ahead and click on it more than I want to, but it's excellent in that I don't have to try to figure out how to use a menu when my mouse is messed up. The screen is the wrong direction. So that's actually really cool. But why don't they have these labeled better? There's only 3 of them. There's 3 little icons. Some people might not even know that those do anything. It looks like this little icon, but it does nothing. This right here, toggle primary output. What does that even mean? Yes, I know what it means. It means if I have more than one screen, but I don't. So why is it even an option here? Next is this right here. That's going and changing my resolutions. This is in a virtual machine. These are the resolutions it gives me. I'm sure there's some place I can go to give it my more normal 1360 by 768 that I do my recordings, but there's just not the option there, and I'm not going to go and try to fight with it to figure it out. But I noticed there's an apply button. I haven't changed it. It's at 1440 by 900. Why is it giving me an apply button? There's nothing to apply. So that's just sort of odd right there. There's Screen Locker. I just think that's a funny name. But okay, that seems to work okay. Something else I found that was strange. I'm going to go ahead and open this right here. Takes me to my home. That's pretty cool. I'm going to open up my desktop, and I will create a new folder. Create new folder, and we will call it Alice. And boom, it shows up just like you'd expect. I will go ahead and create that, and I could use this also to create a new folder and call it Bob. Great, that works just as you'd expect. I'll move back up, or I could have hit back, and Alice has 1 item. Great, and I move right here. Alice has 1 item. Awesome. Now I'm going to come into here, just right-click, and I could hit delete or move to trash. Yes, I want to, and I could tell it not to keep asking, and I usually turn that off for real work. And I'll hit back this case. Either way works, and they should. 0 items. Well, excellent. Let's go here. 1 item. If I click on this, it says the folder is empty. So why does it say 1 item? I open it up. 0 items. 1 item. It's just not done well. There's details like this that they just don't get right. Something else I found, I can go ahead and detach this right here, my places. Not really sure what the value is of that, but okay, I can go ahead and do that. And then I can open up another window, and I can go back and forth, and I can attach it to this one and detach it. I could come over here, and I could attach it, and I could detach it. Okay, so I have this that moves back and forth between items. It's a little strange, but I could accept that. And then I can go over here, go back, open up document. It's still attached. I could detach it. Okay, so it attaches and detaches just fine. I could also drag this over to here. Now if I go and I close this, and I open up just another window, it has it. Okay, now I'm going to detach it. I click here, and my floating dock is now gone. It's now no longer attached to the two items. Even when I close this, it doesn't come back. Now it is attached to just one window. Well, before it was attached to both windows. Now it's only for one. Again, this is just not well thought out. So how do I get it back onto this one? I could just go ahead, put it back on. How do I get it here? I have to go to View, and then to Panels, and then I could go back and have my places put on. But it's just kind of weird the way all of this works. And by the way, now I could have two separate ones, and you could see one disappearing and one coming back. Sometimes they're connected, sometimes they're not connected. Just really odd. Next thing I'm going to do, I'll leave one of these open, because I want to show something where I'll have this. I'm going to open up Libre Office, and I could go to Applications. I can go to Office. That makes sense. Which, by the way, when I come back to it again, it just stays there. You'd think it would come back, or at least when I clicked here, it would go back. It doesn't. I could scroll down. There we go. Get to Writer. Here is something I think is really cool. I think it's really done well. I really like it. Attaches tab to that other folder. Two separate applications using the same window, and you could put 3, 4, 5 in there. That is really cool. Something I like. But now I go ahead, I right click on here, and it says attach tab to, it's already attached. Let's go ahead now. I'm just going to close this. I'm now just going to be in LibreOffice. Oh, graphical glitch there. Is that from me having a virtual machine? We'll give the benefit of the doubt and say it is. The other thing we'll do is we are in LibreOffice. I'm going to go to View, Toolbars. Now watch as I go to this menu. Just sort of lazily getting there. Again, watch it again. View, Toolbars, just lazily go over. Works great. But now let's go to a system menu. This is called, by the way, if I mouse over it, the window menu. I'll come back to that in a second. If I click on it and I go to more actions, now I want to get to, say, no border, and I try to go there even quickly, it doesn't let me. So one, I get to be pretty lazy about it. The other, I have to be real exact and go across. That's how it is on most of the system, and I know you can set it. I know there are places you could make changes to this, but this is working one way. My menus are working one way. This is working another way by default. That's just kind of silly. Also, we have this as the window menu. This is the window menu. If I tell somebody over the phone to go to the window menu, which one do they go to? You have to be real specific and tell them which one they go to. That in itself is not really designed well again. There's all these little details that just, they get wrong. A couple of other oddities which I noticed, so I wanted to show those. You have your different views right here. We have our icon view. We have our compact view. We have our details view. Yes, detail view. Then we have this other view over here, which says show in groups. Okay, so I'm not clicking that, but now two views are selected, and I come over here, I come over here. This is really just showing in groups, turning it on and off in each of these other views, but they're all grouped together. Why? Again, it looks like you have 4 different views, but you don't really. So that's just a little bit oddly done. If we go back to Alice, and it still thinks there's one item in it. Of course, we don't have one item in it. It still has that wrong. If we come over here, though, and we look at this little up arrow, this folder is empty. Why does that fade off? Who designs this? That's really my problem with Linux overall. Lots of options, but not things that are going to help your productivity, your efficiency, your error reduction, things of that nature. They're just not thought out well.